right. Now, when you go into any e-commerce advertising community or you just study what they do, you'll notice they're very big on user-generated content, UGC. Now, we can't argue that authors don't don't use user-generated content, romance books, because we do use reviews as the primary text in our ads, but it's not really the same thing. So, one way of just figuring out unique formats for your adverts that are close to organic content on platforms, organic formats on platforms have a higher click-through rate because of ad blindness. Users kind of get used to ads and start ignoring them. So the closer your advert in whatever niche, whatever industry, mimics the native content, the better the click-through rate, the lower the cost. And it does not really guarantee conversion, but it guarantees engagement. So if you merge native content formats and your own salesy formats, you can get a middle ground where you still get high engagement and you also spur sales through your own copy or call to actions, etc. So just a minute. Okay, this you could argue this is user generated content, but it's very particular to how authors do it. I never leave book reviews, but yes to all of this. Yes to the storyline, yes to the twists and turns, and yes to the love that endures between two broken people. This series was a distraction that I didn't know I needed. This was my first time reading this author's work, but I'll definitely be on the lookout for more Amazon reader reviews. So this is typically what we know, right? But now let's take it a notch higher. I went into a reader group. Now let's see how, because if you're part of this group, sometimes you'll see content from the group on your feed. So in my head, I don't want there to be a difference between how a reader sees content from this group or whatever reader group they're in and your advertisement. So when they see it on their feed, they're like, oh, someone is recommending it, or it's reader-ish. It's not an author trying to shove their book down my throat. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. We're gonna divide it into two parts. The first part, we're going to be studying this. Let me increase the size of my 150%. That works. So we're gonna study two parts. The first line, the structure of the first line rather. We're gonna take what we see and we'll try and find a formula out of it that can be replicated with a template. And then the image, okay? The first line and the image style. First line and the image style, okay? Okay. So again, this is unusable for me. It's not unique, but Sunday fun day post. This is an admin's post, so I'm ignoring that. Okay, look at this. Finishing up my husband's wife and starting the drowning woman by hiding. You see reviews from people, but you rarely see sentiment from readers actively reading the books. So with authors who have active newsletters, you could ask your readers who are currently reading books to send you active sentiment. What are they reading? Where are they? What are they loving? What page are they in? This goes for authors with Facebook reader groups too. So if you interact with your reader, with your active readers, this is something you could do. Also, consider in other e-commerce fields, users are compensated for giving reviews or user-generated content that is used in advertisement. And for depending on the country, for example, the US, there is a law that needs you to show on the advert itself that the person featuring has been compensated for that. So you can just write it here. The actors featured here have been compensated, are active readers, and have been compensated for appearing here. Still doesn't remove the punch from the advert, but it works according to the laws that are required. Okay, so let's see. Can we get a formula from this? Finishing up my husband's wife and starting the. So, how do we term this? First line structure. So, I'd say comments from readers starting when starting your book. I wish it was something I could. Anyway, this image structure, big book cover in the middle, no text. I think this comes from the blue on the sides comes from FB, I think, because the image size and the size FB ones don't match. So I think Facebook puts in those colors. Look at this. I need an unhinged book that will absolutely blow my mind. I work in healthcare and see a lot and have little to no emotions. Let me hear what you got. You know, it's so interesting to peek into communities you're not part of, because mentally there, whatever, how I'm wired, I really can't handle traumatic books. I can handle traumatic movies, but I can't handle traumatic books or anything dark. But for certain audiences, it's so interesting. Anyway, now this part, this is an interesting angle that could be used in an ad. I need an unhinged book that will absolutely blow your mind. You just turn it to third person. Do you need an unhinged book that could? Do you need an? For template, I'm gonna use this. I'm not sure what they are called. They use in programming. Do you need an? And then I'm gonna use is it an adjective? Unhinged book, yes. E.g. unhinged. Do you need an adjective book that will impact, e.g. blow your mind, blow your. This is how we make templates actually. I'm using these marks because when I used to send cold emails, and when you're sending cold emails and you're making templates, you do something like this, and then you just put different. So, for example, do you need an adjective? So I'd look for 10 adjectives, and the software would automatically put different adjectives on where the pipe mark is. So, do you need unhinged, dark, etc, etc, etc. Same goes for this place. So I'm using the same approach to make this template. You could do a Beyonce. And then I like this part because you rarely see that, but it captures the world of the reader. It makes the reader feel real. There are people who I work in healthcare and see a lot and have little to no emotions. Let me hear what you got. So I need to twist this, and I have an idea how I will do that. So do you need an adjective, e.g. unhinged book that will impact, e.g. blow your mind? Even if is an interesting way to tell someone to address an what am I looking? There's a word I'm looking for to address another pushback before it comes. Objection, to address an objection before it comes. Even if you work in healthcare, now I'm gonna push it here. You don't have to do it, or careers where your emotions, where you see a lot and your emotions die. All right, so now this is going to something controversial, like a statement that's controversial like this is going to elicit a bit of either argument or banter in the comments. You expect that, embrace that, depending on your personality. For me, I'd embrace that. For others, so our template becomes: do you need an objective, e.g. unhinged book that will impact, blow your mind, even if you work in healthcare? You can replace that with the military or whatever career, construction, tech. If you imagine you're selling a cozy mystery book to people who work in tech or busy careers, 14-hour days. So you'd say, XYZ book. Do you need a XYZ book even if you work 14-hour days in soulless careers like tech? Personality. If you are that type of person, if you don't, if that's not your voice, then you can just find ways of doing it without being snacky. Anyway, let's go on. Notifications. All right, my mom gave me this hole. Come on, okay. There's a chicken pecking my leg right now. I'm trying hard not to react. My mom gave me this little hole. I'm going on holiday this week now. I'll tell you why I'm excited. Which one shall I delve into first? For context, I love Freida, John Mars, Mary Kubica type of books. Now, the reason why I like this is because context. There's something called voice of customer, and when you go deeper to voice of customer, when you are selling something to someone, hey, when you're selling something to someone, you I'm trying to fight the chicken off. When you're selling something to someone, you need to get into their world and think about scenarios where your product comes into mind for them. When do they read? What are they experiencing when they read? What are they running towards when they read? What are they running away from when they read? Where are they? Location? Where? The 5 whys: why, when, where, what, which. So here, on holiday, and who is part of the 5 whys. So mom gave me this little hole. So how would you use this thing? So you could do something like gifting someone's mom, because let's imagine you don't have a reader who's giving you permission to use they're not giving you user generated content. So you're taking the style and then still making it sound user generated, but it's unique to you. So someone's mom gave her this book. Or alternatively, if your mom gives you this book, I need the spreadsheet to be in a different tab so that I can switch seamlessly. Someone's mom gave her this book, or if your mom gives you this book and you happen to, this could be an ad in an ad set. So you're trying to capture different people. So look at this line. Your mom gives you this book and you happen to be on holiday. This is version 1. We're talking about variation, right? So to Facebook, if someone is on holiday, they've posted holiday pictures, and Facebook knows they are also a reader, it could show this ad to them because it's relevant to that context. So that's ad 1 in your ad set, right? You could have another ad in the same ad set with a different word here. So if your mom gives you this book and you happen to be, so let me put a pipe or a slash, you happen to be on holiday slash at work where it's illegal to read. Oh, I didn't look at the image. This primary text is accompanying multiple books from different authors. So if someone has a book set, or if you're doing a group thing with other authors, you could put that. So for us, we'll skip this part. Which one shall I delve into first? So for context, and then you'd say, for context, this book appeals to people who love XYZ, comp author Y, comp author B, for context, this book appeals to fans of. Now this line, most authors know how to use it. Comp authors, comp let's put the pipes, the funny looking brackets of comp author A, comp author B, comp author C. Now you have your primary text. Now let's do the third one, and then we'll go to images. Finished such a lovely neighbors last night. Huh? Finished such lovely neighbors last night. Oh, that's the book title. About to jump into the I love this for this reason. If you know that your readers come from for example, you have a book that reads like Harry Potter, attracts Harry Potter fans, right? You know your readers either come from Harry Potter or go into Harry Potter next from your books. Now, instead of saying for fans of Harry Potter, you could steal this structure. Okay, let's see. Finished book X, about to jump into book Y. Something I've always wanted to look into and check out since I was younger. Okay, this is how I'd steal this structure. Okay, finished. Let's say, so you're looking for people who have finished a big book that has a lot of sentiment on Facebook. So big authors, genre queens and kings. Okay, so finished a Nora Roberts book and you are about, I don't like second person in ads, so I'd probably tweak it if I was using it, or I'd test it. Finished a Nora Roberts book and you're about, I'll actually change it here, and about to jump into title of my book, title of your book, and then here's where the magic happens. Finished a Nora Roberts book and I'm about to jump into title of your book, and then you'll say, if this is you. Now remember, when someone first reads that first line, they'll think you're giving a first person account, but now you are the author. Now you switch it and say this: if this is you, this book. Now I can't really replicate this part. It's something I've always wanted to look into and check out since I was younger. So this is an iconic, so it's almost like an ode to the iconic writer. Okay, so this, we're praising Nora. Finished a Nora Roberts book and I'm about to jump into title of your book. If this is you, then you too have always loved Nora Roberts stories, and then you could say the strong heroines or rather strong characters, and you'd go on, and then you'd pivot to your book. Now this is a great way to dam the demand, dam DAM. Nora Roberts or George R. Martin, or a certain movie that's showing, Bridgerton. There's chat on Facebook. Facebook is seeing people talking about it, people clicking on books or discussions or groups. Facebook can find that audience. Now, how do you leverage that audience? You dam the demand. So you start with finish. The river is flowing towards, the river of attention is flowing towards Nora Roberts. Okay, finish a Nora Roberts book, and I'm about to jump into title of your book. Now, someone feels like they are reading something from another reader, almost like a friend telling you stuff, and they're pulled in, and then you pivot. If this is you, then you too have always loved Nora Roberts stories. The strong characters, etc. So to pivot even more so that the reader does not feel cheated, you could say, that's why I wrote XYZ, title of your book. It's like title of comp book with, see, that's what people say. Title of, it's like George R.R. Martin in the 21st century. It's like title of comp book with twist you added to the genre. Okay, there you have it. So we have 3 user generated like ad styles, first line actually, that are used, that we can use. They're unique because you rarely see them in the ad library. I'm sure I can scroll 100 times and I'll not see anything like that. Okay, so let's see now. Again, 80% of the ad is imagery, so we need to look at the images that are being used in these books. So the cover authors do this, nothing special. Actual pictures of your book on a shelf. We usually do your book on your hand or on the bed. Now this is interesting. You could put your book on your on the shelf next to Nora Roberts or next to Harry Potter. I'm not sure if it's legal, but I think so. And then highlight it. Find a way to highlight. You could draw an arrow to that. So this is interesting. Actually, it's not on a bookshelf. They're just standing on something. So okay, books stand. This is the spine, right? So spine showing books on a flat surface. It could be on grass here. Now, again, creative variation. Okay, different people respond to different things. Now, imagine if you have a 4-book series, you have 4 of your books. One of them is Nora Roberts, so 5 books and Nora Roberts here. So, and an arrow pointing. So image 1, you take the image on grass, take the image on beach, sand beach. You take the on a table, on what else? Ridiculous places on anyway, let's continue. I've drawn blanks in my mind. So, all right, look at this. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is unique. I was talking about. I just drew blanks. Look at the background. Look at where this. This is a Kindle, I think, or a phone, right? And the phone is on what? This is someone's crotch. This is the, I think, waist. This is skin, right? Now, exactly what I was looking for. So, different people respond to different images. Now this, I love this because it's more, you wouldn't see an author putting their book on their lap or on their bare chest or on their waist when they're, this is almost the inner wear line showing. It's so organic, and I think this is Kindle, right? I love this style actually. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this image and I'm gonna include it. There should be a way for me to add images here. There is a way to include the image into the cell rather than on the cell. Come on. There is a way to do it. Maybe I'll have to do it later. But paste special, let's see. Google Sheets are nuts. What am I missing here? I needed to get into the, anyway. Let me just copy all of them. I'll figure it out in another video. The images that I like, this one. You could do it like Beyonce. Oh, here you go. Put image in the cell. You could do it like Beyonce. Put image in the cell. Okay, they're here. So I'll just need to move things around according to what corresponds to what. That's not important for now. I think we've done enough for now. And we've just scrolled through three examples. Book on what? Someone's bed or someone's shit. See how unremarkable the backgrounds are compared to a professionally done photo. People with physical books, actually, I was about to say people with physical books have an advantage, but this guy has done a picture of either a Kindle or their phone. I'm not sure what is what here, what I'm looking at, but now look at this. I love this image. Meme, right? This is so creative. Oh, and it's actually a bad review. I had high expectations. This image could be used for people who love trigger warnings. I had high expectations for this book since it was so hyped by everyone, but I thought it was such a predictable story. This book is filled with coincidences, and this was my face throughout. Now, you could take this image and put something like uh, if this is you when you read the following trigger warnings, don't read this. You're trying to repel people who are not for it, but you will attract people who are for it. So let me put that as our last template. If this is your face after reading my trigger warnings, so let me put a note there. Image of Stank Face, then this book is not for you. Dark romance. Okay, let's see. I need to move this image here. Can I move it? No. Alright, so I'll just have to copy this copy image and put it on the next one. Ooh, be good to me, 'cause I'm a soul. I should be able to move columns that easily. Yes. Alright, I think I've done enough for today. I think there's a storm coming.